Like I can be very good with physics, but that doesn't make me I can go and solve a problem in NASA. If I can solve a problem in NASA, I'm not supposed to be sitting here.
Exactly.
Especially in early stage, capital can be a big struggle. Money is always the problem, especially in the early stage.
I think they are traveling with you for 10 years. It's been a decade.
Yes, it's been a decade and I still have my very best friends as my co-founders in the business. It's just not advisable to everybody.
Exactly. Note. Founder market fit.
Founder market fit is all about the ecosystem.
So, any product, any SaaS product should solve any problem.
A pain point, yeah. Today AI is the new trends. Everybody wants to do something AI with AI.
Everybody is getting a domain.ai. That's it.
Everybody is a founder today.
Yeah.
You will encounter failure.
People nowadays build in the LinkedIn, and people like me are getting fascinated. Oh wow, a founder.
People like to showcase the things which are on the front end that they celebrate, and nobody's going to vent out in LinkedIn. The hardship has been overcome. Then they share their results like this is something I went through and I overcome in this way and etc. So Skillset is a big stock, especially people in their early 20s.
Gen Z.
I'm not going to brand Gen Z. I still have self-doubts in some areas of my business as well. It's not like that you're always perfect and things are rolling. Okay, that works for my LinkedIn.
You mentioned like your competitor is making in 6 months and you can make it in 2 weeks.
Yes. One thing would be is to have zero ego. Okay? So if somebody comes to me and asks, okay, give me 10,000, I'll give you 30,000 in 2 days. I'm like, how do you do this, bro?
So you have a systematic approach towards everything. You have a system, you have the loophole towards it, and you close it also.
This is a system. I can't tell the loopholes. Investment thesis, let's say for example, I am an investor. I have an experience in electronics.
And what do you recommend to them? How do they find their own co-founders, and how do things work there?
It's simple, you can download Fellow Founder.
Finger crossed, anything and everything which is having a new start, it's going to excite us. It's a new start for me, totally unexpected. I just wanted to have a podcast journey, which was my aim long back during my college days, but today I'm just making it out. Really happy. Fortunately, I just had a conversation with few of my friends and made my first guest here. To introduce about myself, I'm Sowmiya and I'm into digital marketing. The guest is going to be Jasper Joshua, who's the founder and the CEO of the Fellow Founder. So welcome, Jasper ji.
Hi. Happy being here. It's a great day, and I'm very excited as well in terms of doing this amazing podcast with you. And yeah, looking forward to learn more as well and to share a lot of insights about this Y factors and other startup things that people should be aware of.
So the purpose of this whole concept is going to be like we do have a lot of off-camera conversation, which would be very much insightful. So I just want to pull a camera in so that people get excited about it. So before we just jump into the questions, I want a straight intro about Jasper, his journey, and his startup.
Great. So I think that's a good way to start. Like you said, the off-camera scenes like pretty much more about money, business, and life. So yeah, let's put on camera and can see how much we can take out of it and show it to the world. Cool. Now, so who is Jasper? So basically, Jasper is this 27-year-old guy from Madurai, and he runs his own startup called Fellow Founder. And it's more into networking space where we want to create a healthy ecosystem for founders to represent themselves better and to have their own identity in terms of the business world and to grow to the next level. So that is a startup which we did. And long story short, so I wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since I was doing my college. I was 2020 engineering grad, and then I did 2 other startups which didn't go as planned. It was not successful. Then I took a year break. I was working in companies and digital marketing agencies. Then I was ready to give a comeback, So that's when I was looking into the industry, and Yeah, to be honest, I was being a part-time consultant as well to many founders and business people, and one such event is where and I went to people founders and I was networking and I was giving my visiting card, the business card, and there's a person called Johnson who's still in very good contact with me, and he refused to get my card. Rather, he took a picture. So I asked him why are you not getting my card, because I spent thousands of rupees in this card and
That's the
designing
start.
it. Exactly, that's the start. So in designing it and giving it and scheduling the further appointments as well, because the purpose of visiting card, the name says visiting. So after this, we are supposed to visit. So that's the whole point. But today, nobody is doing that. When you get a visiting card, you just get it, you just throw it somewhere in your home, and you're never going to visit that person ever again. It's very rare.
Exactly. Even we have a lot of visiting cards stacked over the shelf.
Exactly. So that's the sparking moment, and I wanted to do something about this industry, because as everything is changing, right? UPI is in. Before we used to do with cash, now it's UPI. So why the same old business card has been staying here for more than a decade, like 50 years or etc. It's never been changed. So we built this application called Fellow Founder, where you can actually share your profiles with just a QR, because in a traditional business card it's just like 4 information. Here you can have like 40 information. It's easy to share, it's seamless, it's completely private, secure also. And the next thing is that when somebody gives you a visiting card, you can just take a picture. So the app automatically converts it into a digital contact, where you can schedule easy follow-ups later on. So the purpose of visiting is actually established. So this is a business we started around last year September 2024 September, and we are doing pretty good today, and we are a team of 20, and we have grown into private limited company, which is a good huge thing for us, and things are starting to get better and better as we go forward. So I think that's more about myself and my startup journey summarized.
That's great. When I just listen to all these things, I get fascinated. I need some harsh reality about startup, founder, and etc.
Okay, so harsh reality. So harsh reality in the sense like, should we talk about money, or should we talk about the team or the idea? Like, where should we begin?
Like the whole journey, how was the harsh reality? What were the encounters you went throughout the startup journey? I do know that you have a lot of startup in the past. So what were the struggles and harsh realities? Because people nowadays build in the LinkedIn, and people like me are getting fascinated. Oh wow, a founder. But inside, I know there is a lot of struggle in and out. So
Yes.
can you share
So-
something about it?
Yes, of course. And it's very hard to start with a very hard question, sitting in the hot seat. But yeah, that's the theme of the show, right? So okay, let's start with the hardships and struggles. See, first of all, whatever things you see in LinkedIn or social media, none of it is like 100% true. People like to showcase the things which are on the front end, that they celebrate, and that they are proud of, but not something. Nobody's going to vent out in LinkedIn, basically,
Exactly.
or on social media. If the hardship has been overcome, then they share their results, like this is something I went through and I overcome in this way and etc. But nobody's going to vent out. Not everybody typically. So yeah, in terms of struggle, I categorize struggle in terms of 3 things. I call it money, people, time. So these are the basic fundamentals of a business, where everybody will be facing struggle. So let's say, for example, there's a big CEO of a company, and I have met a lot of business owners also. They have a struggle of automating their time. They always go and chase and look for people or other CEOs, other leaders who can come and replace them in their company, so that these these business owners can have their own family time. Imagine somebody building their business for 20 years, sacrificing all their time, and now they want to at least have their own independent lifestyle, which is not dependent on the business, and they wish to duplicate it, but they never find the right person. So that's the struggle of people and time, right? So basically, as the business grows, there's like a lot of stages of struggles. Especially in early stage, capital can be a big struggle, because money is always the problem, especially in the early stage. People have time, people can meet new people, but where to begin needs a lot of resources. So in my personal journey in terms of fellow founder, I'm blessed to have a lot of good people with me, because ever since I graduated in engineering 2016 to 20, I met a lot of lot of folks, a lot of good people.
I think they are traveling with you for 10 years. It's been a decade.
Yes, it's been a decade, and I still have my very best friends as my co-founders in the business. So it's not advisable to everybody because
Exactly. Note.
yeah, so not everybody should bring their best friends inside the business, but fortunately for me, I'm blessed enough to have very good co-founders of mine and fellow founder who were my college mates, and we went through a lot of things together. So people was never a problem for me. My challenge came with money only because during my college times, I was a part of this MLM organization where we are supposed to recruit people, hire more people. You have a hierarchy. That's how network marketing works. So I was doing that thing during my college days. I was earning few bucks. I saved some money. I spent a lot of money, and one thing is that I learned a lot of sales during that season. So Skillset is a big struggle which I faced, which I see today, because especially people in their early 20s or late teens. I'm not going to brand Gen Z because whole different controversy, but still, yeah, because there are many good Gen Z as well. But people in these places, especially during their college days, I don't think they focus on skill set.
Exactly.
People focus on doing something bigger, but not on themselves. I think the first step is to work on yourself, where you work on your skills, learn from somebody who's an expert in an industry, have a mentor or a role model, so that you can learn things, you can observe things. Once you are ready, and the next stage is where you start building things. You don't, you can actually start building things by without knowing also. But if that comes in the play of luck. So if luck turns to be a fortune, it works, and etc. Okay, let's come to my struggles. Yeah, so I did my college. I did 2 other startups. I raised friends and family round. So we had some lakhs of money. We put it into businesses, and first I was an edtech business, and COVID happened, and there was a big edtech giant at that time back in 21 and 22 who was killing all the competitions. And so I think fortunately or unfortunately, I closed my first startup. It's called Brilliant. It's a liability limited partnership company, and we closed it down. Then post-pandemic, we went into crypto and blockchain. I met very good friends through networking events as well. So we took Cardano chain, and we started building very good solutions in crypto mobile application. But again, crypto fell down. Like crypto crash happened. We don't have enough capital to bootstrap. Then I started working on companies, and then with enough number of capital, like with enough amount of capital, I think now we are into fellow founder. So one thing which I learned in terms of my struggle, it's the founder market fit.
Okay.
So founder market fit is something is that I can't, let's say for example, I can be very good with physics, but that doesn't make me I can go and solve a problem in NASA.
Exactly.
If I can solve a problem in NASA, I'm not supposed to be sitting here. Okay, so founder market fit is all about the ecosystem, where you are, where you want to go to. So pick up on niches, pick up on fields, which I regret this because I learned this very later, because I was into crypto, but basically I'm not a crypto guy.
Exactly.
I did a crypto startup, right? So make sure your profile, your experience, your skill set is going to be helpful when something you're building. If there's nothing to build around you, where you have a different set of skill set that can be useful to people in other regions like Singapore or US or wherever, just try to go there. That's how the founder market fit is tuned, and I can still see a lot of founders who don't really have a deep understanding about the industry, or don't really have the right experience from the respective industry. They don't make it, unfortunately. Reason is they don't have the clarity about their vision, their purpose, and their foundation as well. I think that is one struggle which people need to clear out. And then once you have enough cash flow, enough money, things will get started quickly. So yeah.
Exactly. The founder market fit, that's like you are very much aligned to your startup, where fellow founder, you have a story like I had a visiting card, you had a rejection over there that made you to start fellow founder. That's how things go in. I know I just started with a harsh reality question because to set the stage in place.
Great.
So To the next question, in your initial days, you must be having your idea, fire, hustling, a lot of things.
Yes.
So, what really made you to start things, and how did you connect your dots when it is like you have no clarity? You must be in your self-doubt period, a lot more. So, the initial days, the very much start.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to address these questions in two ways. One is where we talk about connecting the dots and etc. And another part is where we'll talk about the hustling, the self-doubts and other things as well. Because I'll tell you this reality, there's no success without a hustle. Okay, you have to keep hustling, you have to keep learning, you have to always fight your self-doubts. I still have self-doubts in some areas of my business as well. It's not like that you're always perfect and things are rolling. Okay, that works for my LinkedIn. But in reality, I'm still a founder who has a lot of self-doubts. Why this customer gave 10-star rating, why this customer gave 7-star rating, what's the difference? So I still go around with a lot
Customer analysis.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things included. So to be honest, these are some things I'm supposed to battle every day. But one thing which I see is that during my early stage, I used to work till 2 a.m. at nights, early mornings, and I used to be proud of it.
Oh.
Okay, I'm somebody who's hustling. I'm reading books. I'm reading like 2-3 pages every day. Nobody around me is like me. I'm the best. And today I still do those things. I'm not very much proud.
Why?
Yeah, because after a certain point, you realize the hustle, the observation, the learnings is mandatory.
Okay.
So it becomes part of your character. So when you meet people, you start observing things, you start learning things. Sometimes if they do a lot, if they speak a lot, you even take notes in your mind or you take notes somewhere wherever possible. It has become a part of myself that I'm not anymore proud of that. I think it's okay to encourage
Are
yourself.
you regretting that you just made it like 2 a.m. or something?
Not
like
at all, not at all, because that is worth it. I can see results, right? When I look at my competitors in business, what they can accomplish in like 6 months, I can accomplish in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The reason I'm pretty sure I have stacked up consistency so much in terms of hustling, learning, pivoting, risks. Earlier it used to be painful, so much emotions involved. Now there's not emotions like at the beginning. Where I'm like, okay, because, and also one more thing is that once you start moving your circle, because let's say for example you're doing your college or you're working in a company, you will meet a lot of folks who are very much invested in their happy lifestyle. They want to go to movies, they want to start relationships, they want to hang out to new places, travel. There are a lot of things to keep people happy nowadays, and that's no wrong in that. But when you take a different track from them, when you start learning things, when you start experimenting things, when you start listening to podcasts like this, and people outside don't really know why you're wasting time. So that is when you'll feel more special. Like you're different and you're hard, you're doing your hustle and etc. But once you start meeting the right people who are same like you, who hustle with you like 2 a.m., who listen to podcasts also, who talk about the industry insights, then you feel pretty normal. So
I get it.
when the ecosystem changes around you, when everybody is having their own dreams and they are chasing better, when you start competing with them more or less, you feel all these things are mandatory. And if somebody comes to you and if they talk about work-life balance in a startup ecosystem, as a founding team member, they're pretty sure you know them to a straight head, like they are not to your level and they need to level up. So if you're a founder at early stages, work-life balance is not something you should focus on. Rather, you can do it later. So you can just postpone it, right? So these are some things, that's the difference between the early stage and later stage. There was more excitement, more intensity, more emotions. Now it has become more towards a matured, necessary state where I do still hustle hard, and I do party hard as well. When I want to take a break, I just chill for a day or a two, and I reset myself. So it becomes more natural nowadays, the character, etc. In terms of connecting the dots, I'll tell you, there's no, as Steve Jobs says, one of my favorite quotes, there's no connecting the dots forward. The only way to connect dots is it's from backward. So you need to have a dream or a goal that is so big. Dare to dream big and dare to fail also. That's where you set things. And you start connecting things to the first point where everything starts with a skill. Okay, so in terms of fellow founder, I want to build $1 billion company where every founder or an investor who's into the ecosystem can pitch better, can have their own profiles with just a QR, raising funds, connecting new people, and etc. The networking ecosystem digitally for founders. So that is the big goal. It all boiled down to the basic sense. Okay, do I know JavaScript or not to code this? If I want to build an app, do I know Flutter? So that's where the skill set starts. So then you realize, okay, I'm not a developer. I'm more into design and marketing. So let's find somebody who knows code. So that's the second dot. So then the third dot, then the fourth, then I had my CTO, and things started falling in place. So that's how you connect the dot from the backward, and it takes time. You need patience, you need a lot of grit, and eventually you will make it. So yeah, that's how we have been doing it so far, and it works to be good so far.
That's great. So like you mentioned, like your competitor is making in 6 months and you can make it in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So what did you do? Like what one special thing that you want to mention that made me this difference?
That's a deep question. I think one thing would be is to have zero ego. Okay. I'll tell you how. When founders start making money, when founders have a big team, they have a lot of policies that are in place, which is mandatory, because even in our company we still have policies and things to be done. So one thing is that, so when they are a company, they go to a different ethic, they come to a position where there's like, okay, this is the business, we are not going to take any new risks, we are not going to invent any new features, this is making money, let's settle down here for some time. And they don't want to again rework on their ABCs, because that's how a company should grow. Well, in terms of fellow founder, what we did is, many of our competitors are still struggling to find the business model. They're burning cash, they don't know how to bring the cash in, they lack a lot of quadrants. I just look at my company new every single day. Okay, so what's working so far, that's good. I don't touch that quadrant. What is not working and how to make it better. So that's how I take risks. I look at things without ego. So let's say, for example, in terms of marketing, if some campaign is not working or some campaign is not putting the right brand position, fellow founder is like a platform. It's not a community. Okay, but there are some campaigns which we thought we can position that was going towards a community intent. It was giving good results. But I had zero ego. I just went and I said, we're not going to do this. The reason is that the less ego you have, the more agile you become. The more agile you become, the more faster you can grow. This is something which I got inspired from Steve Jobs as well. Because when he was the CEO on Apple, even though Apple was a big company, if something doesn't work, he directly fires people, or he directly says it's not working, let's shift to something else. Acceptance is something every founder should have, so that the pivot which they can do, it's big. Because I think, if I'm not wrong, we were making very, very little revenue at early stages. Now we are going to a very good revenue model, very revenue-driven model. So this thing happened in a minute of 3 months. We gave 2 different app launches the last 4 months. Averagely, every app or every software launch has been doing like 6 months. So I think we did it in like 2 months. So I think it's the pivot, less ego, more acceptance. That's changed the entire ball game for a founder.
So I know I'm just being a part of fellow founder app for like, it's been days, like from the start weeks, I'm just being there. So I know the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and I know you made a lot of pivotal changes, like from, I know where it started and where it is now. It is tremendous.
Thank
the
you.
Change is tremendous. The improvisation is tremendous. So how did you make this in a very short time and very faster, and it is very smooth as well? It's not making a lot of clumsiness into the team as well.
Yes. So again, 2 things to focus on. One is that a team should have a proper structure, not just in terms of paper, but in terms of mind as well. It involves a lot of trust, because when I go and when I pitch things to my team, though they are not completely on board with me or the ideologies which I say, they trust me to an extent. They are like, okay, what this guy says makes sense, but we're not sure how it's going to work, so let's trust him. And luckily, those decisions come to real and it starts working together. And I also, on the other hand, I just don't be this arrogant narcissist going and shouting at my team. I just wait for all their inputs. what do you think? What do you think? What does my CMO think? What does my CFO think? What are the pace? I just ask these questions randomly. Guys, what do you think about the company? So, are we going at the right pace? How do you feel about the pace? So, they'll be like, somebody will say it's slow, somebody will say it's good, somebody will say we can do better, somebody will say we are going fast. So, we'll make sure we are all on the same page. So, that is something which has to be there, where one person drives it and the rest of the person trusts them. So, that is one thing to make, that's something which is special, that it's a very good team chemistry. When there is no ego, it's a very good team chemistry, something which we built as a culture, as a whole team, I'm proud of. And in terms of feature, in terms of transitions, in terms of pivot, we just started listening to market. Now again, there are some feedbacks which we got, but which is not relevant to the fellow founders' vision.
Okay.
So we want to establish value more than just features. Because once we have a handful of clients or users who are willing to pay for the service, every customer will start asking his own feature. Hey, I want to do this. Somebody will ask a follow-up can be done like this. Somebody will ask a lead can be... Exactly. You can't go and chase features to every single person. That's not how it works, right?
Exactly.
But some people end up doing that, and after a year or 2 years, some founders will regret it. So you can't actually completely listen to the market. Can get their opinions, you can get their suggestions, which is very vital, where most founders ignore that also. It's like a balance where market is like the scorecard. It shows you how you are doing, and you need to make sure you don't go out of your vision as well. So when these two things are in place, execution becomes flawless. It's easy. You listen to the market, you know your vision, you know your blueprint in head, you put the math, you do the metric, okay, this is something which you can pivot. Then you have the team. Hey guys, this is something I'm planning to do. Let's do a market research at a very small level. If it works, let's take it big. And the entire team should oblige to the risk. And I think luckily that's how it's been going so far, and it's good. Yeah.
That's really great. So one thing myself as well as the audience would have felt it. The chemistry between your co-founders.
Yes.
I could feel it.
Okay.
Many startup fails just because of the clashes between the co-founders a lot more. Even the product would be better. So here I could see a lot of chemistry. So what are the rules you follow to maintain it? So what do you do for it?
Great. So in terms of chemistry, it's pretty simple, because we are more best friends and brothers even before getting a founders. Because I'm very much proud to say, not proud to say actually, but yeah, I'm a little happy, because even if it should not happen, but hypothetically speaking, even if fellow founder is not working out tomorrow, even if you're making big bucks and some big competitor came and crushed us down, can happen. So even if the company is lost,
I appreciate your acceptance towards things in the future also.
Yeah. I'm just ready for anything. I'm ready for anything and everything, and it's going to take a while. So even if that happens, I'll still have these good brothers around me to still talk about what we're going to do next. So we are not connected professionally. We are actually connected personally. The reason for chemistry is understanding. People know me where I'll be angry, where I'll be upset, where I'll be motivated. They know me personally, and I know them personally. Okay, what makes them upset? What makes them motivated? What are their goals? What are my personal goals? How are we going to align this? So once you have this around your founding table, it's very hard to get, because founders want to just connect professionally. They come on a board meeting, they talk professional things, then they go out, then you do your life, I do my life. I think the sense of family inside the founding table, where people share personal stuff, may not be 100%, but to a degree you're expected to share things, how you are feeling and how things are around you. The more you share, the more chemistry you build, the more people understand, and that's the major ingredient, because we have been sharing together, living under the same roof for the past 10 years. Still we have a 2 BHK apartment, 4 of us living together. 3 of our co-founders living together, and it's going good till now, hopefully. So yeah, I think chemistry is all about the family bonding and the personal shares, which we know about each other, understanding, and I think that's it. That's pretty much it.
I really appreciate this thing, but from the perspective of a founder who's like being single, want to find a co-founder, I don't think he will have these chemistries and friendship.
Yes.
And what do you recommend to them? How do they find their own co-founders, and how do things work there?
It's simple. You can download Fellow Founder.
Okay, promotional activity.
Yes, it's promotional. Okay, I'll tell you this thing. It's not a joke, but you can download the application, and there's something called Get. We have a feature, so there'll be discover section in it. Go to it, you'll find something called Get Co-founders. Can just it's like a wish list form. You can go fill your form, and when people can see it, they can easily find people. In what terms they're looking for as a co-founder. So we take the hardship. We make sure we find similar profiles that you might like. It's not a matrimony site, but more or less.
Okay.
The AI, we have an algorithm inside.
We need to be like a matrimonial site so that we are marrying people.
Exactly, more or less. But I see we are more than a matrimonial site. Reason we have tech in hand. So exactly, there are a lot of tech in matrimonial sites as well. But one thing that's different is that even marriages, it's fine. But in terms of startup, everything is should be more transparent. Should be more accepted. Should be the right thing. This is going to be the stake. This is going to be the efforts. Everything should be beforehand, even before stepping inside. Marriage is somewhere people do the figuring out part later. Unfortunately, in India, people get married first, then they figure out things. But in startup, people figure out things first, then they plan to do whether they want to do it or not. That makes all the difference. So that's what we do in Fellow Founder. So apart from Fellow Founder, what else you can do? This is something I recommend to every founder. Start attending more communities, more events. Don't just go to your college or office, come home, sit inside your home, trying to do everything via online. It won't work. Okay, that is okay, but there has to be a point. You're supposed to step out of your house and start meeting new people, networking new people. There are a lot of community happens as well. Even inside our app, we promote a lot of events. Attend more events. The more people you meet, the more likely it's for you to get a co-founder. You'll meet a lot of good people. After the event, talk to them. If it works out, that's the co-founder. That's the only best shot. Okay, or you can keep working more on your LinkedIn profiles or your social media. If you are lucky, you will get. But at Fellow Founder, we don't believe in luck. Okay, so we believe in hard work and etc. So you're always welcome. You can download the app and you can get your co-founders. But don't just stay inside your house. Make new friends, meet new people, and eventually, with time, you'll get your co-founder.
Yes, that's a clear answer towards the question. So now I just want to ask you, a lot of founders are building their startup publicly, telling each and every note happening in and out, and some are being so private, and someday they just put up a message that I just raised these many crores. Okay, you were so silent. How did you do that? Most of us wonder that. Yes. So what do you think? What's your take? Should we build it private or public?
See, building is public is. I'm critical. I'm skeptic towards it. I'll tell you why. Recently, I had a conversation with one of my friend in the startup circle, and there was this one person who was building it in public. He was showing where his Git repository is, how he's doing his coding, his work schedule, his philosophy. Literally, he's giving all his trade secrets outside. Okay, what happened was after he grew to a certain level of users in mobile application, I think somewhere around 10,000 to 100,000, his site got hacked. His product got hacked. The entire startup was copied, replicated. Everything was done and dusted. He's still figuring out with legalities and other things. It's costing him a lot of time also. So building is public is not for everybody. Building in public. Reason, you're vulnerable. People just see you what you're doing all the time, and at the end of the day, we are doing business.
Yes.
So if you are more towards a community-driven model, community-centric model, where you want to nurture the next generation, you want to educate founders, that's when I recommend building in public, because the entire agenda is to make sure you are spreading awareness. But if you want to make a business out of it, I won't recommend build in public. Rather, you can start doing things privately, because there are some things that you are supposed to do on screen. You are supposed to talk, and there are some things that cannot be showcased on the screen as well, because that is your vulnerability, and that is also a trade secret. So I think in that case, I won't recommend building in public. But if people are trying to build in public, I appreciate it, but make sure you don't leave out everything. So that's my take on it.
That's great, but what most of the people has made a statement is your startup is going to be the founder phase.
Yes.
So being active on all the places, showcasing things like what you do, making the momentum with the audience or the users, that that is what the market wants it. So somewhere there is a line between the private and the public life, and building something and making showcasing to the people, etc. So what's your take on this? Like, how do you draw the line there?
In terms of private and public life? Okay, in terms of, okay, now I get it. So everybody has their private and public life. So public life is where I'm doing a podcast. Private life is what I add for my breakfast. So that's none of the things which I want to show also. Reason, nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn how many idlis you ate or whatever. But
So what I think is like you can publicly build your podcast and things, and privately keep your quotes.
Exactly. Privately you make sure you keep a lot of things private. How do you come up with questions? How do you pick the dates? How do you call the guest, venue? So all these things are not disclosed in the podcast. So which we can share later on. It's okay to share things. I'm saying sharing is different from exposing.
Yes.
Especially in the business world, right? So you have to be very careful on what you expose to audience, because people can come up with a different narrative.
Exactly.
Especially in terms of business. Let's say, for example, you are selling something for like 100 rupees and you're planning to sell it for 50 rupees. Suddenly will people start narrating things like, oh, this is like 50 rupees. Which decreases the entire unit economics and the value of the product and the business.
Exactly.
You are just thinking about it. You are not just going and putting the product as 50 rupees. But when you build in public, you will also put a post saying, I'm thinking to shift it to 50. Then suddenly you will see a lot of people coming and devaluing your product or whatever. So that's why I don't recommend doing that. In terms of private and public life, yeah, it's pretty simple. Whatever you talk in front of a camera or in front of people, what do you want to show, that is all about public, where you talk about numbers, metrics, sometimes even the hardships as well, struggles and hardships. That is good. Private life is what you think, how we can take this forward, how to value things, whether you're a little bit doubtful about it. So that's all about private and public lives. And in terms of social media, there's another filter to it. So publicly you have another filter called social media, where you post all the good things. I encourage people to post their hardships as well, but even I'm not doing that. I just post all the pitch competitions we won.
So that's what you're doing this podcast, to showcase all your hardships.
Yes. So yeah, and I'm very much happy. Recently there's an event in Pondicherry. There's an international business conference happened at Pondicherry, and we won the runner-up for a pitch, and we got very good grant amount as well. That's all about my LinkedIn. And I'm not going to talk about that here. So yeah, that's very important for a founder, so that you have a very good peace of mind. What to discuss outside, what not to discuss outside. And I can see a lot of our competitors who reach out to us want to get advice from us also.
Oh.
Okay. Which I can't tell, obviously, for obvious reasons. They want guidance, they want advice. Dude, I am 10 steps ahead of you. I took like around 4 months to be ahead of you. You can't just come and get 4 hours of mine and you can do this. So that is a little bit selfish. Business is all about being selfish also to a quadrant. But still, I can guide people. I can set the directions, but I can't hand over the keys. Okay, so that is something you have to maintain. You need to have a sense of maturity to handle it.
Exactly.
That matters the most.
This makes a lot of sense, and I just want to ask you one thing is like when you just talk about a founder's lifestyle and things, you told about peace of mind and other stuffs.
Yes.
You will be encountering a lot of loneliness, rejection, failure. You will be venting out to yourself, cannot tell things out.
Yes.
So how do you handle that, and what is the attitude of an CEO? The market has branded like if he is a CEO, he should be like this.
Okay.
Something like that. How do you see all those things?
See, to be very honest, again a very good question. Nobody can understand a CEO. His schedule, his way of life is completely different from the rest of the other. Again, everybody has their unique lifestyles, but the way of his life will be completely different. That's why a CEO is very expensive in every company. They have their lifestyle completely different. I'll tell you how this happens. Let's say, for example, I'm a police officer. Okay, so every police officer is supposed to be strict, supposed to be a little angry. Why? Let's say, for example, I'm a police officer. I catch a thief tomorrow. Who's coming and saying, I beg for your mercy. I stole this food out of my hunger. you need to understand, I'm very hungry. I just stole this one vada so that I can have food. Please have mercy on me. If I'm a police officer, I have two options. Either they can talk things like, I'm merciful, I believe in God, God is all love, so I'll let this thief escape. So he was stealing for hunger only, I will pay for you instead, I can do. But on the other hand, it's up to the court to decide. I'm not in a place even to decide. It's up to the court. So these are two character attributes. So if I started paying 10 rupees for the thief for a vada, the thief will start stealing every day and I'll be end up paying every day. That will be an NGO.
Okay.
There are people for that. Okay, so people who can help, people who can support. If you're hungry, you can reach out to them. Stealing is not the option. So from my perspective, my character shifts more towards being strict rather than being more merciful. Again, I still have mercy, but 20%, 80% of it's more strict. So your profession, career life has a huge impact on your personal life. The character changes personally also, with uniform or without uniform. Similarly, when you are with the CEO or when you are a CEO, your career and a professional life will have a huge impact on your personal life as well. There's no on game and off game. Even if you're at 11 p.m., 12 a.m. at nights, you'll still think about business. You'll still your decisions will be better. You'll start making decisions in a different way. You'll start looking things differently. The marketing, the risks of it, because all boils down to decision making. So even in your personal life, that's where big CEOs struggle with choosing their outfits. Reason they will be thinking about a lot of other decisions. So the personal life is affected where they can't find their right t-shirts or whatever. So that's why they have assistants to make sure things are in place. So everything has a cost. So that's why it's also hard to be a CEO. And in terms of lifestyle, I think the character speaks more. And that's and in terms of loneliness and etc. Right. That's the price part of it. Why? Because I see this thing that is happening in the industry. Everybody tries to explain stuff. Okay. Even in a corporate, if a CEO decides to explain to people, okay, explanation is mandatory to an extent. But you can't keep explaining anything and everything. So you are required in a position where I'll just give 30% of the explanation to you because we don't have time basically, and I'm going to execute it. I want you to trust me. So if we are successful, then you will automatically know how this happened. That's the risk. So that's where loneliness comes in, because once people don't understand you or they're afraid to understand you, things will happen. People will be insecure some ways. So understanding a founder is really hard. How he sees things, what are his timelines, what are his goals. So that is very hard, even to people around him as well. So there are even times when I was very lonely, even though I might be with my co-founders, but I still feel the struggle. The numbers might show something different, the concept which I wanted to tell something different. And but one thing you have to keep in mind is that everybody around you, the friends, family, parents or the co-founders, their intention is to help you only. They are well-wishers. They want to do good things to you. They want to take care of you. So that is their agenda. But the problem is they're not able to understand what you want.
You know you better than them.
Exactly. So this thing keeps you lonely. And that's something which you have to cope up. But make sure you don't get too lonely also, because sometimes loneliness can be drenching. It will take a lot of energy in unwanted emotions and etc. So let's keep things more professional on business. So at the end of the day, business is all about keeping things business. There's nothing professional. And your results, your decisions will tell you. If let's say, for example, people are trusting me, I'm just giving 30% of the explanation. All my executions are being on time, putting the right results, everybody is happy. But if all my executions are going wrong, they'll have a new CEO in place. I'll be replaced.
Okay.
Exactly. So I should
That's not going to happen.
Hopefully. And the decisions are going good so far. So that is the level of professionalism you're supposed to maintain.
Yes.
Okay. So even if you're not the right fit for this company, you can go to another company and become a CEO there. So it's always in the game. So I think that is something you have to work on. You need to have your own support systems during your lonely phase, and eventually you'll figure things out.
Exactly. So we were all talking about decision making.
Yes.
So when it comes to startup or anything, the fear of getting failed, or will the decision which you made getting wrong, or wasting time because of a wrong direction. So how do you handle all these things? And I know fortunately things are going well with the decision making part.
The failures and rejections.
There must be a failures,
Yes.
but you must have handled it better so that it is not getting escalated much.
Okay, that's right. See, in life, everybody needs a teacher. The way I see failure is a teacher. You can learn things from books, you can learn things from videos and podcasts, you can learn things from people. And there are some things in life you cannot learn from all these three. Some things in life you cannot learn from books, you cannot learn from videos, or you cannot learn from people. That is where you need your own teacher, personally and professionally. That is where you meet this teacher called failure. Because there are moments in startups and life where I have failed without reasons. You'll encounter such situations in life where you fail. There's no explanation or reasons needed. There's nothing there. If you start searching for reasons, you will find zero. You are supposed to fail. That's it. You need to accept it. You need to move on.
So you fail there, so getting successful somewhere in the future. That's
Yeah,
how
that's the only coping mechanism. Yeah, like, okay, I failed. If you find reason, good, lucky. If you cannot find reason, fine, leave it. Move on. So failure is a teacher which teaches you things you should be ready to learn. If you don't learn, you'll just keep failing and again. So this is where experience comes in. Experience is learning from your own failures, making sure the mistake is not repeated again. Where knowledge is the consumption of books, videos, and other things. So I think this is the entire system of failure, and failure is painful. Failure is a very good teacher. So nowadays I am not meeting my teacher often since things are going successfully, good, happy, blessed. Success is not a very good teacher as well. Failure is the best teacher. When you encounter it, you learn a new spectrum of dynamics. So yeah, that's how I see it.
So yes, that I'm happy that you're not meeting your teacher often now. So when you were meeting it often, like your teacher often, how do you handle it? You must be low. Like what made you to push to another startup within, like, I think another 2-3 months you just started with fellow founder.
Yes. I think it's just 6 months gap. I think we did it. Okay, one thing is that as human beings, we are emotional creatures. The first failure was like to the core, when Brilliant was out of business, we are like, I did everything right. Why this? Why God? Why choose me? Why this thing is happening to me? It's more painful. I can't do this again, and etc. So the first failure is painful. Then I had couple more failures. Now if I encounter a failure, I'll just maybe sad for one day. I go have a tea. The next day I'll be back. So it's all about building your endurance, right? So I think that's the point of having failure. If you're just being I'm still sensitive in many quadrants, but that doesn't mean I'll take more time. So the more failure you encounter, the more you get used to pain in terms of decisions. One thing which I want to say is that at early stages of my startup and my previous startups as well, we don't focus much on revenue. We focus on the value creation, we focus on the market validation, we focus on the team building, we do a lot of other things. Failure taught me, making money is the end goal.
So it's not the byproduct, it's the main product.
Yeah, it is a byproduct in a way, but without money, nothing functions.
Exactly.
So yeah, and it took a lot of experience, failure, to get used to the pain, to be ready also, because I'm pretty sure even if my company goes out of money tomorrow, I can still manage for like next 3-4 months, at least 6 months, because we had failure. Now we are resourceful, we are making sure we have backup plans as well. Reason, the teacher taught me, go now, don't come back to me soon. So yeah, I think that's how you take things.
Yeah, you got a very good teacher.
Yeah, hopefully life, God, yeah. Yes.
So yeah, when your startup failed or things went wrong, what did you do? Like, did you blame yourself or your team or like the environment, market? What did you do exactly?
I think you have a lot of experience in this as well, because the question you ask is like very much structured, and I can see a lot of personal experience coming out of it.
Yeah.
We need to talk a lot about that podcast.
Maybe like off screen.
Off screen, yeah, maybe. I get it. Because when you encounter failure, the first thing you start blaming.
Yeah.
Every time I blame the universe. I blame God. So that's how it started. Then slowly it started going towards like you start blaming people around you, to team and etc. Now I realize there's no blame because nobody wants to wantedly fail.
Exactly.
You fail unknowingly or mistakenly. That's how you fail. Then so it's all about realizing. So the blame comes down. Even if and we still make mistakes. Okay, so even if my co-founder fails at something, in scheduling an appointment or scheduling an event, it could be a big event, but maybe I have missed it. It's a failure because we have lost an opportunity, and we just talk to them. We don't blame things. We take responsibility equally. We need to make sure how this won't happen again. Put an Excel sheet, what all notifications you have, what all events you have, or categorize it, envision it, and we make sure things don't happen again. So that's how you move forward. So at early days, yes, I was blaming a lot of people, a lot of things, but now I don't even blame myself
Okay.
because we don't do failure wantedly. So yeah, and that's how you maintain things and you recognize and you build further.
I can see a lot of maturity while you're just delivering things.
Yes. It takes a lot of pain and hardships, patience especially to come to this level.
So, like, I could see like a lot of risk management here. Decision making that is leading to a risk management.
Yes.
So, whenever you're making a risk, a high level risk, like owning it and making things right, even it might be a wrong decision, you are taking responsibility to make it right.
Yes.
So, like, how do you get that?
Yes, that's a very good. I'll start by telling a quote by Ratan Tata. I believe he said it. There are only two things in business. Either you take right decisions, or you make sure you make your wrong decisions right. So that's the two ways to do it. So if something is okay, let's say, and also I know this book called "What Gets You Here Won't Get You There." Okay, so what feature or what revenue worked for like 10,000 users won't matter or won't drive to like for next 100,000 users. We need to change. You need to tweak the features. You need to upgrade it. So yeah, in terms of decision making, in terms of validating things, there's only one logic: risk reward ratio. If the reward is 10,000 users, there's a level of features and risk to it which you do. If the reward is 100,000, there is a risk and a feature to it. So that's how you assess things in terms of risk and reward, and you start making decisions from knowledge and etc. and experience, and that's how you do it. So risk reward ratio, be more agile, start making more wrong decisions so that you can make more right, and eventually you will start making more right decisions. That's it.
That's a clear way of leading things. So when it comes to, you will encounter a lot of opportunities. So while doing so, how do you categorize it? Is it a opportunity or a trap? I could see a lot of opportunity getting my way. I could see everything flashy, everything is shining, and categorizing which is opportunity, which is good or bad, that's really a big game. But I could see you are doing it great. So how do you do that?
To be more specific and simple, if it's too good to be true, it's fancy, it's a trap. Okay. So, a lot of my friends are into business, some do trading as well. So trading and, investing. And so if somebody comes to me and asks, okay, give me 10,000, I'll give you 30,000 in 2 days.
Oh.
Like, how do you do this, bro? There'll be people who'll be asking for it. I just sit with them. I talk to them. Okay, explain to me how this happens. If they're not willing to explain, I'm not in. Especially with money, because the decision all boils down to money. Other things I'm willing to gamble. For money, I should be there. I should know things, right? So if it's too good to be true, if it's flashy, come join our course. You'll be the next millionaire in the next 2 months.
Okay.
So I have seen people around. Don't promise too much things. But that doesn't mean promising is wrong. Promise things that you're confident enough to deliver. Find those things. That is, when I look at things, I definitely promise a lot of things in Fellow Founder, but I make sure what all I promise, I get it done by the end of the day. So that is a good decision. If it's something like too flashy, too over promising, to it. If you cannot understand it, don't do it. That's how you stay away from trap, and that's how you find opportunities.
So you have a systematic approach towards everything. You have a system, you have the loophole towards it, and you close it also.
Yes.
So how do you handle a systematic approach towards all the things when it comes to startup?
Yeah, there are a lot of systems in place. I'll tell you one system. We have like we are in talks with couple of investors. So we are planning to send this monthly. We are supposed to send this monthly report to those folks in terms of with the PPT and etc. This is a system. I can't tell the loopholes. You have many systems like this. So monthly ones and all those things. Loophole is something when things go wrong, how do you fix it? So that is the loopholes. And so when you start doing processes, when you start setting up processes, every process tends to become a system. How it all begins is that at the end of the day, we see it as method, we see it as process, we see it as system, but it all begins by people. So system is equal to people. The people you handle are the system. So you encounter a police tomorrow. Let's say you kept your license at home, you don't have your license. The policeman is a system now. So you can either show it via WhatsApp and e-license you have, or you're supposed to go to your home, grab it back, or you're supposed to pay the fine. It all boils down to the police officer. The system has all those rules, but it's up to you and the policeman, right? So I see system as people. I know the person first so that I can talk about the system. So when I look at a company or my competitor or a company which I know, I look at the CEO and the founder of the company. If I'm able to understand, if I'm able to predict that person, I can easily predict his company also. If I can see a CEO is more formal, tucked in, and who's more specific with time, I can obviously say his company must have a very good biometric that scans the company's attendance. So that should be a system because it's more specific at things. So people are representative of companies and systems. So once you know people enough, you can find the system enough, and once you have right people with you, you can build a very good system with them. And if things go wrong, that's where the loopholes are, and that's when you start attaching things. That is what we have been doing in Fellow Founder, and that's how I assess system and people.
I get it. So how do you assess yourself?
Assess myself? Okay, that is my own virtue, but I think it's up to you and the people to assess me, how I am. And I believe, one thing which I believe is that I believe in freedom, because everybody has their own freedom, and there is something to do with the responsibilities. If your freedom is too much, if it's not allowing you to do your responsibility, you are cooked. That's how my system is. Be flexible, be open. If you're getting things done, if your responsibilities are doing good, you're doing good, amazing. You can still enjoy your freedom, you can still have your responsibility. Because every freedom has a price. If you're able to make the price, if you're able to make the dues, you can be happy in Fellow Founder, basically. But if you're not able to meet the dues, you have a lot of reasons, a lot of excuses to sort out in life first, rather than giving reasons every single time. I'll make sure, buddy, we can stop here. Fix your life first. Then we can, talk about freedom. So I think I'm being very transparent in that way in our company culture and etc. That's how I am. So I have a lot of freedom with myself, but I make sure I meet all the deadlines, all the dues in process. So that's how my company is.
That's so transparent, bro. So one more thing is I just want to ask you one thing. So when it comes to startup, people make mistakes, wrong decisions, and the cost they pay for it, it's too much high.
Yes.
So have you paid? How did it work?
Yes. I mean, there are a lot of things we as a team made mistakes and we learn from it. So, I'll tell you this, how you should make a mistake.
Okay.
If I as a CEO have already been through the same path in terms of media, marketing, or investing in something, or putting a resource together, I've already crossed a path, I have enough experience on it. Or if I have enough knowledge about it, say I'm not a coder, but I know how coding works, I know a lot about the frameworks and etc. So I give them logics, how this product should come in terms of a product management perspective. I don't have experience, but I have logics, I have knowledge. I share them. When people listen to it, it's good. When somebody contradicts my logic, I sit and I ask them for a better logic. If their experience and their knowledge is more than mine, it's worth giving a shot. Even if it fails, it's worth giving a shot. because something which we learn together. But most of the time, which I'm glad, 90% of the time, which I feel 80 to 90% of the time, the CEO should be the person who has more knowledge and the experience better than the rest of the team. So the CEO should be the person who has more vision towards the company, more belief systems towards the company, more experience than the person, more knowledge to the people, more experience in terms of industry, and more knowledge is relevant to the industry. When you have that in place, if somebody comes and contradicts you, you can quote your knowledge. Have you read this book? Have you talked to this person? Have you listened to this person? They did the mistake. You're trying to say the same. Or you can share your experience. I did this and this. You're allowed to do a mistake when somebody in the opposite side has bigger knowledge. You sit and you listen. You try something. If it works good, nice. If it doesn't working, it's a mistake. Don't do mistakes in terms of ego. There were times, not exactly in my personal case, but I have seen people where there will be somebody working in the company who will have better knowledge, better experience. They'll come and talk to the CEO. Hey, this is going right, this is going wrong. You should do something about it. But the CEO is like, no, I am the CEO, so I can't do these things.
Okay.
It's completely ego. It's the ego of the CEO, or it could be the ego of the person in the management team. Why should I listen to you? I'm a senior, so things.
That's the position that make them to do those
exactly
things.
And those mistakes are silly, that could be avoided, right? So I would say, in terms of making mistakes, if some decisions, if it's exceeding your knowledge or experience, you're allowed to do it. If it's not exceeding knowledge or the experience in the person in the room, there's no point in doing it. So as a CEO, you're supposed to know a lot of things, a lot of knowledge. You're supposed to gain a lot of experience. You're supposed to learn a lot of things. You're supposed to have very new ideologies and perspective. Other people can have or may not have. A CEO should have. And that's how we make the decision makings go right most of the time. This is my personal experience also.
That was so sharp. The answer was like to the point. So now coming back to building the team, we talk about product and stuff. Now building the team, delegating work, and how do you handle things with them when there is a conflict or difficulties?
Yes, there will be a lot of conflicts in building a product or building a team. But one thing should be clear: who takes the final decision. So in our team, if it's marketing, I have very good CMO, Deepan Kumar. You might have seen him also. So whatever relevant to marketing, even if I say a lot of things, I can insist on things, but the final call is his. And similarly, in terms of admin or finance, we have my CFO, Bhagavati Raja is there, CTO Ginos is there. So they have their own domains. In terms of decisions, I can insist them, but it's their final call. And we make sure the knowledge and experience is in place, because they listen to me very much, which I'm proud of also. Now, in terms of execution, in terms of visions, in terms of setting deadlines, in terms of putting people in terms of moving things forward, that's my quadrant.
Okay.
I get insights from people all around. This deadline is too long, too short. We can't do this. We are limited by this resource. The marketing campaigning is failing. We are positioning in a different way. All these things are my bucket. So my call will be the final. So no, the conflict is all about this thing happening. And one good thing which I do is that if you're encountering a conflict, sit, quarrel, brainstorm, talk, share experience, share knowledge, share all those things by the night. By the morning, go somewhere, take for lunch.
Okay.
So we'll have like a very heated conversation the day before. The next day we'll be playing badminton or something together. We'll just chill each other. We'll be watching a movie together. We'll be eating something together. So that is different, right? So that's how you handle. Conflicts is conflicts, solution is solution. So that's how you separate things.
That's pretty much cool. So when you encounter limited things in terms of resource, money, team, product, anything. So in terms of limitedness, how do you handle that?
Go out and start finding. That's the only option. If you need more money, start doing more things. You can even do freelancing stuffs on the side. Even being a founder, because you need money, right? And nobody is willing to give you money at the moment. Or if you want money, go meet investors, go meet VCs. They have their own set of criteria. If you want team people, go meet new. There are a lot of things happening today. We can't say things are not happening. There are a lot of events happening every week, every month. One event which we are also part of is Startup Party, which we like to showcase here. If you're into Startup Circle, we have this meetup every month end. It's like a general meeting where you can come and meet a lot of brand new folks there. So every last week of every month, Saturday, this event called Startup Buddy, you can just Google it. You can find it in ChatGPT also nowadays.
Okay.
It's listed in a lot of other event platforms like All Events and etc. You can go to events, you can find people. So you can find co-founders, you can find resources, whatever you want is already there. If you want server, there are a lot of free credits, a lot of sites that offer you free server for limited time. Do explore, start taking risks, start doing things beyond your comfort zone, and things will fall in place.
That's great. So everybody will be asking recommendations for books and stuff when it comes to podcast, and
Yes.
I'm just going to ask you recommendation when it comes to networking. So
Networking.
since I could align you with networking and stuff, so any tips or guidance to our audience, like
I can give a book also in terms of networking. So there's a book called How to Make Friends and Win People by Dale Carnegie. Okay, so how to influence friends and win people, I think. So that's a very good book. It's like a very long book, but again, very insightful book. It teaches you more about how to assess people, how to predict people. So that could be very useful in networking as well. So I think that one book which I would recommend. It's like a famous book, so you can read it. And other than that, in terms of networking, it's always in value exchange. So these are the values that I'm going to give. These are the values which I'm going to take. If the other person feels unfair, nice meeting you, bye. Because there's like a 7 billion population in this world. You can always find people with the right value exchange, but don't be so selfish in terms of exchanging also. You need to have fair amount of value exchange. But if you feel, I have met founders who come and say, I need co-founders, but I'm willing to give only 20% of equity.
okay.
A co-founder is more like 50-50 most of the times. But I want to give 20% of the equity, fine. Okay, what else you're willing to give? Okay, I'll give you 20% of the equity. I'm also willing to pay you this much. I'll give you 20% equity, but you don't have to be full-time. There has to be other things as well. So you will find people who are looking for the same number of things. When this value exchange is done, you'll find people. So that's how networking is basically.
That's great. So next, we are just going to move to next genre of questions where we are just
Okay.
going to talk about customer analysis towards customer point of view.
Okay.
So any product, any SaaS product should solve any problem. That is how I see
Yeah. Yes. A
things.
pain point.
Pain
yeah.
point. It should solve any need of a customer. So in that way, I could see a lot of startup being started as an AI trend where they just start because adding more features to it, and they just start.
Yes.
So how do you see this, and how do you do your customer insights analysis and getting feedback and all those things?
That's actually a nice question, because today AI is the new trend. So everybody wants to do something AI with AI.
Everybody is getting a domain.ai. That's it. Then the-
Everybody's a founder today.
yeah.
Yes, and also there's no code platforms also. You
Yeah.
can build an app in like just 10 days. You can launch it with AI. That is cool, because these things help you fail faster. So I would appreciate with the AI trend, because you learn a lot in this journey, which can be free most of the times, but you will encounter failure. So fail faster is part of the process. So you'll learn a lot of things. You will fail. If you're successful, you're lucky. So yeah, and let's come to the building part. How do you build it? How do ideas work? And how do I get my customer insights? I'm very lucky because we have a closed community of fellow founders. We have influencers, we have friends in influencers, we have friends in VCs, investors, founders. So we have a small network of it. We have first degree connections and second degree connections, so like mutual and etc. So when we want to do something which we don't have the domain expertise or knowledge, which we want to explore in terms of a SaaS feature or whatever, we take consulting advice from these folks around, who can give you better advice in terms of project management, budgeting for finance or whatever. So you'll get a lot of advices. That is something which you all should have. A small WhatsApp group with friends, people who actually care, who have the knowledge or experience. Either you can build your WhatsApp group or go and become a part of the WhatsApp group. It's already doing. There's also Flutter community in Chennai. They have their own WhatsApp group. Startup communities have their own WhatsApp group. Be a part of it so you can meet people and you can get validated all those things in first. That's how you bring your product. That's how a SaaS product is validated even before it's created. Then the building part is figured out later. So I think that is where the idea is validated first with the market, and then you can take things forward.
How did you validate your product market fit? Like acceptance of the market?
Cool. That's right. So I'll talk this in detail with two segments, two answers. First is the idea. Next is the product market fit. So I have a framework for idea, which we are discussing recently also.
Yes.
IDEA. So I stands for innovation, D stands for desire, E stands for execution, A stands for attention. So idea innovation is where you find a problem, you have experience, you have a thought process of solving it better, the solution comes based. That's innovation quadrant. Desires is how long you want to take this, how big it is. So once people have idea, they have, okay, I'm a founder now, I'll get my Lamborghini and etc. So or I'll reach to like 100,000 users on day one. All these things are desires. It's okay to have desires, but make sure your idea is relevant to a desire. So there is, if every idea has a market space to it. So let's say, for example, I want to start a tea shop. That's an innovation. Okay, every tea lacks this ingredient. I'm going to put this ingredient. I'm going to make the tea, the best of tea. That is an idea. That's an innovation. Now next day I can't dream like, okay, I'm going to get a floor at Burj Khalifa with a tea shop. It's not going to work. So desire should be in place. Most founders contradict their desires with ideas. Or I'm going to have 100 people team for a tea shop. Not necessarily. So make sure the business background is right. The idea innovation meets. Then comes the execution part, where you find people, where you allocate resources, money, distributions. All those things are sorted in execution. How fast the desire can be accomplished. It's all about execution. So first idea, next the desire. Make sure everything is sorted. Execution is all about making sure the desires come true. Then finally the attention. If your idea is able to get a lot of attention, you'll go very faster because you'll attract a lot of people, a lot of investors, a lot of customers. You don't really have to work that hard. So that's how idea is completed. In terms of product and market fit, once these things are in place, go test it out to people in the market, find whether it's working or not, how you can optimize your SaaS, how you can optimize it, and things will eventually fall in place.
So that's pretty much about the idea. How about the market fit?
Yes. So the market fit is where this is like an exam preparation. The market is the answer. So if you put an ad campaign, if people download it, you won. If you didn't win the ad campaign, two things can go possibly wrong. One, you're creative or the ad sucks. You're not selling in a different way. You're not selling better. So there's a sales problem. Or if you're selling really good, but still the customer doesn't need the features, or doesn't need the product, or maybe the pricing is too high. So it's a product problem. What most people do is they lack the pitch quality. They have a very good product, but they don't build the conviction around the product. So people don't buy it. They end up doing and working on their features more and more. So product market fit boils down to conviction, where it should sell, and also the product features should align with the pain points, which the market should address. Let's skip the jargons to be more simple. Put a Google form. Make sure the questions are very right, conviction building. Circulate to people, but again, don't get into your fantasy world. Make sure the reality facts in place. Circulate to 100 people. Say how much will they pay for it. Will they use it on a daily basis? How this is going to work. Be very brutal with your feedbacks. Once that is sorted, you can build your conviction and rest of the other things.
So this is a next level of perspective about conviction. I really liked it. So next, when it comes to getting the feedback, you got your feedback in place, you understood what your customer needs. Then you have a product and you got your feedback. So how you take forward there?
Yeah, once you have the feedbacks in place, once you get a conviction that your idea is working, then you start building the product. Then the product is in place. Then you start marketing your product. You start selling it to customers. Then you get your revenue in place. So all these things happen, but you need to address a mass number of people. That's where today social media is very handy. You can publish a lot of organic content. You can do SEO as well. Since you are an expert, you know about things, how to pull traffic in SEO. So we get help, and that's how we build things. That's how we scale things. Once things are set, once revenue starts coming in, now we are like, okay, now this is no longer a side project. We can do this as a business. So once you come to that level, you start scaling it.
That's pretty much. So when it comes to like getting the feedback all set, so like say for example you have a case study where fellow founder had a feedback, and some things are like people are not ready to go for it, or the things are in the opposite direction. Thankfully,
Yes.
it's not there.
No, it is. It was there. I'll tell you. Yeah.
So I need some case studies so that people feel like all are struggling, not only us. So
Yes.
I want to give that feeling to my
Yes,
audience.
of course. Personal experience. Get it. Nice. So, in terms of feedback, earlier when we go to networking, when I meet new people, I get their name, I get their mobile number, email ID. I come to my home, I put an Excel sheet. I just do my WhatsApp follow-ups. Whoever is responding, I take things forward. I fix appointments and we start doing things. That is how natural networking works. Now, with fellow founder, what we are planning to do is we can just get the contact in app, simply store it, and you can put follow-ups via app itself. It's more simplified. But at the early stage, people felt it complicated. We had like a lot of features where you can come and you can put the names, and animation comes in, UI comes in. The app is a little buggy at early stages. Then we were like, the app is pretty good. It's solving the problem. Why people are not willing to use fellow founder? Then we realized it's a new UX problem, user experience. Though there's a good app, people find saving it in Excel is simpler.
Okay.
But here's the catch. You will have hundreds of Excel sheets in your drive. You will update your Excel sheets. You'll cross-check. You'll do all those things. It's very heavy lifting. It's very hard. But people are sticking to it because it's simple.
And they are used to it.
Used to it, exactly. So that's when we shifted the UX of the app. We should not load the users with features. Rather, the features should be very simple, very light. So you can just come with a click, you save the contact. With a click, you schedule follow-ups. With a click, you do this. So everything happens in a click. That is one good case study which in terms of fellow founder we learned, and we focused more on the UX part, and I believe now the app is pretty good and I can see people using it also. And still we are making a lot of improvements in UX to make it more simple and more clean.
Okay, that's great. So I'm just going to position in myself. So like I'm a freelancer. Just want to give you a personal experience to the users.
Yes.
So like I'm a freelancer. I'm just having issues with. I'm just going to a lot of networking event, getting back with a lot of visiting cards and etc. So now you're going to solve and help me out with things using fellow founder, and I just want to know the post
result
also of it.
Super. So now you're a freelancer.
Yeah.
You're going to a networking event. The first challenge is you're given just 10 to 20, 30 seconds to get the attention.
Yes.
Now these are the things I want to know. Let's say I'm a founder and you are a freelancer. You are an expertise in content and SEO. I need help. I look for these 4-5 things. So where are you from? What is your portfolio? How big your experience is? How long you're in the industry? What are your client testimonials, like client winning, case studies if you have any 2-3? Can you relate to my industry? Do you have that experience? And finally, what would be your budget?
Okay.
So all these 5 things come into my brain, which you cannot answer in 30 seconds efficiently until you have very good practice. But in fellow founder, you can just create your profile, a digital business card, where you can put all this information in front. So I could be a person who might ask you to, is this freelancing opportunity going to be like part-time, or is this freelancing opportunity has a very tight deadline? Are you free at the moment? Are you not free at the moment? How many projects are you handling at the moment? So all these things I can't ask you directly, right?
Of course.
But with your profile, you can have this information very subtly, very appealing. So that whenever I see your profile, I get excited to take things forward. So that's the level of pitch we have, the power of pitch we have. So our profile is very optimized for a freelancer, where you can showcase your portfolio. So you can come and say, I did the project with Zelix. There's a company called Zelix, and you said, I did an SEO to Zelix. I'm a person who's Zelix. I could be a customer. You could have named a big XYZ company.
Exactly.
I don't really know the company because that's not my industry. But by looking at your portfolio, I get an insight about your company as well. Okay, this is the company she has worked, this is what she had done. Now I'm more interested, I want to take the things forward.
Exactly.
So when you meet people in networking, you don't get the check in hand.
Exactly.
You take things to an appointment. This is where fellow founder helps in. Fellow founder helps you to get the contact, makes the client excited, takes you to the appointment level. And you can share the profile with just a QR. And I'm not going to save that QR. Either the QR is going to be converted into a phone number in my mobile, or I'm going to send you a request via app so we can take things forward in WhatsApp. So it's not just QR, sharing QR, saving QR. QR that is converted into a contact, which can be used for follow-ups in WhatsApp or other mediums as well. So that's how fellow founder is.
Okay, that's great. So we are we completed a whole segment talking about the product, fellow founder, positionings and stuff. Now comes the great part, like fundraising, VCs.
Yes.
So tell about your first fundraising activity or something, like you met a VC, your experience.
My first fundraising experience came in 2019. Okay.
It's been a decade.
More or less, half a decade. So I was in this tech platform. It's called Brilliant. And we had like around 45,000 followers in social media. We were getting a lot of inquiries. And we have tutors who want to teach as well, a couple hundreds of teachers.
Let the audience know what Brilliant is so that...
Yes, so Brilliant is basically a tech platform where we have tutors in hand and students can come and find their right tutor. So that is Brilliant. And we had a lot of tutor applications as well. A lot of students reaching out to us also. We had a lot of big social media presence. And we got like inquiries, 2 inquiries, 3 inquiries every day. It was going big. The company was growing, but unfortunately we didn't have enough funds to run the company. So we wanted to do fundraising. So we started meeting a lot of investors and VCs to get funds so that this company can become a $1 billion company where you can find the right teachers, put inside, they can take classes to students and all those things. Now I'll tell you why this company failed. Everybody obviously knows there was a big giant in EdTech industry, I'm not going to name them, who crushed all their other competitors. EdTech in India today is also very skeptical. So before taking your risks, count your bucks. It's going to cost you a lot.
Okay.
That's how Brilliant was. We couldn't raise funds because we lacked portfolio. We lacked resources. I'll give you this one key insight. Every investor, every VC wants to join you at the scaling stage. When all business is set, once you want to scale, that's when a VC or investor comes in. And one thing which you would love to do is that there's a person called angel investor who comes in while setting up this thing. He gives you money, he gives you connections, he makes sure you do things right, because at early stage you may struggle with the business model and all those things. He'll help you, he'll put his money, and he'll help you to come to a stage where you're ready to scale. So once everything is set, then he'll get his exit, then comes the scaling part. Now the harsh reality. In India, we have 95% of VCs and investors, and the balance 5% of the people who claim themselves as angel investors were not really angel investors.
They're just being...
I'm sorry to say this, but this is from my personal experience. I'm just telling it with all due respect. If you're not an angel investor, who is an angel investor? Is that who puts a decent amount of money acquiring a decent amount of equity.
Exactly.
You're not actually acquiring the whole company or half of it. Because if you do that, the founder needs more equity to play along with later. But once you do this, there are very little level of VCs, angel investors who are very skeptic to this. No, I'm taking all the risk and all those things. Bro, you have like thousands of rupees in the bank. So that's how you become an angel investor. Or else you can do FDs and other things, right? So okay, that's too harsh. I'm sorry, but yeah, reality has to be spoken.
This podcast is for that. Please feel free to have the space.
Yes, so this is reality, okay? So I have very good angel investor contacts as well. So it doesn't mean to offend everybody, but you need to rethink at this moment at least. Are you an investor or an angel investor? As an angel, the name says, your responsibility is to bear the risk with the faith that this thing will work out. With a reasonable amount of equity and with reasonable amount of capital. So that is something I would suggest to angel investors. Don't go and look for startups that is making money already. It's a safe game, but there are a lot of pre-revenue startups with very great potential that can change the future of India. That's how Facebook started.
Exactly.
That has a very good power to change the market. It doesn't necessarily can be in deep tech, but there are still very good business models out there. If you are willing to take the risk, we'll find the reward. So that is the level of VCs and investors in India, and our VC first experience was that. And today we are still raising funds. We are not yet disclosed the official payment yet because we are in talks with a lot of VCs and investors. It's going good. Now I have a lot of experience. Like we said, I have like around 5 years of experience.
That's what my next question. It's like
Yes.
from the start to till date, your experience with VCs. So you must have had a lot of experience, learnings. The graph would be in the upward.
Yes.
I know to know about it.
Of course, yeah. So the experience, yeah. So in this 5 years, I learned something which is very important. There's something called investment thesis.
Investment thesis.
Investment thesis, let's say for example, I am an investor. I have an experience in electronics. So I invest on companies like Boat, JBL, or things like that. It was more into electronics, headgear, ear gear, or whatever. Now, if some edtech startup comes and approaches me, I'm not going to invest it obviously because I'm not an edtech investor. My investment thesis is the niche of the company. So the segment, the revenue, either it can be pre-revenue or post-revenue, it's my choice. The innovation, and the company should have a decent level of traction or even zero traction. Again, there's a difference between an angel and an investor. So assuming myself as an investor, I have my criteria in terms of segment, in terms of innovation, in terms of the traction or the revenue. So all these things matter. Now, if your philosophy or the stage which you are not in doesn't fit my, if the stage you are in doesn't fit my thesis, I'm not going to invest you. It doesn't matter how many emails you're going to send. It doesn't matter how many sorry or how many please you're going to ask. It doesn't matter how big your vision is. Because I might not be the right person to help you, right? It takes a lot of acceptance for a founder to understand this first.
Like the acceptance part is very much difficult.
Really hard because founders are egoistic basically. We should be egoistic. That's what keeps the company afloat. We never give up. That's the level of ego we have. It is okay, but having healthy ego is nice. Make sure you don't have toxic egos around, like, okay, etc. So, yeah, have healthy egos. Founders need this acceptance. Whatever you do, you can become the next Steve Jobs. I'm not going to invest in you.
Okay.
Reason it's not my thesis. But this is what I can do. I can suggest to my friends, the other VCs or investors, who are into edtech. But again, it's not a guarantee I will suggest. Why would I suggest a startup I know a person today? So
yeah, exactly.
the trust matters. And also if I suggest to another person, if you go and you pitch there, you flunked out there, your ego spoke more, the person, they will have a different impression on me. Okay,
exactly.
he might not suggest the right person. That's like a huge risk. So your intention as a founder should be like, either my thesis fits with this person, or I should be good enough personality, my personality and character should be like, I should be trustable enough so that this person can share my contact at least to the next person.
Yes.
That is the experience which I learned, the acceptance. And one such thing, now it all boils down to like, okay, how can I find an investor to my idea or my startup relevant to my thesis? Okay, I'm into fintech. I have an early stage team. I'm building a mobile application. I need an angel investor who fits in this thesis. Where do I find them? Download Fellow Founder. that is a promotion. So inside the app, we have databases of huge. It's a network. We have a huge database of investors and founders. You can get mentorship or you can get deals. You can easily find out people on your niche who can fit your thesis. Then you can write emails to them, schedule an appointment. If things goes good, you'll be investable. Or if you're too early, you can get a good mentorship to go there, right? So I think that is one key feature of Fellow Founder which we built as well, from my experience. Yes.
That's pretty much nice. Before we go on live, I did my basic research about you.
Okay.
So I found your website, jasperg.com, which spoke about some framework about fundraising. So I just want to listen about that.
That's actually a very deep question. I'm very fascinated by your research because I thought I should not talk about that, but you came to the questions directly. Okay, so there's this website called jasperg.com. Okay, that's my call. That's a different story for G. We'll talk on some other day.
Okay.
So in this, I have built a framework from my experience. So I have built a framework called Script.
Okay.
So similar to the idea framework, I have another framework called Script. Segment, community, revenue, innovation, product. Portfolio, traction. SCRIPT. So segment, community, revenue, innovation, portfolio, and traction. So if you are a founder willing to raise funds, you need to be clear which segment you are, which niche and which industry you are. That is the first thing. Second thing is community. You should be associated with the community. There are a lot of communities in India. There's Thai, there's BNI, there's very good communities. There's one such community called Tamilpreneur in Tamil Nadu, doing a very great job in connecting founders and investors, VCs, etc. So I would like to show them. I would like to represent them here.
Just now we got the Grand Sangamam.
Yes. So Tamilpreneur is doing a very great job. It's a very good community. So associate yourself with the community where you have this helps you to build trust. You just go into an investor and tell, this is my proposal. They need to know you first. So there's community. Then there's revenue. So it can be pre-revenue or revenue making. That's up to your thesis. And innovation should be there. Without innovation, there's no startup. You can't just go and tell, hey, this guy is doing this, I'm going to copy this, do it bigger. Doesn't work. Make sure your startup is different, innovation. Then your business should have a level of traction. Because for some companies in deep tech or with the business model, they might not be making revenue today, but they'll be making in millions tomorrow. So that's where you showcase traction, sign of proof. And there's also the profile, portfolio. Again, the founder market fit. My portfolio should do a business which I do. After 5 years of industry experience, I looked back and I found I can relate myself more to founders, their problems, the ecosystem. That's when I came up with fellow founders. So now my portfolio fits with my background, my startup. So if you don't have the right portfolio in hand, build your portfolio first. So that's the framework, and I used this to raise funds. I'm still using it, and we are on the way to raise our funds and disclose it and all those things. But yeah, if it works for you, I'm very much happy. It will be helpful for you as well.
Okay, that's pretty much. So next is going to be like VCs or angel investors. What they're expecting from a founder or a startup. I know it is boiling down to each and every.
The script.
Exactly. Yeah. But still, with respect to fellow founder, what do you think investors are looking on to you?
That is personal. I can't disclose this on camera. I'm sorry. But generally, I can give you an example.
Just to make sure that someone who's trying to fundraise, so they'll have some idea how to make these steps in and out.
Great. So there are a lot of factors when a VC looks at the startup market, valuation. But I'm not going to give the formulas here. Like we said, it's unscripted, right? So we're going to talk. I'm going to tell 2 things which every investor or VC will look into you. First is talent. Anybody can be a founder and entrepreneur today. If you have money, you can go get your incorporation done. You can hire people. You can become a startup. Investors and VCs are looking for talent because entrepreneurship is a breed. Being an entrepreneur it's actually a different breed. You need to have a knack for it. So talent is in place. Second is maturity. You can have very good talent, but if you still lack the maturity of how to talk with VC or how to move with people, how to take your business to next level, you lack that maturity, you're too early. Life will, the failure teacher will teach you how to be more matured, how to be more calculative, how to take calculative risks, when to fundraise, when not to fundraise, his business is going up or down. So I think at the end of the day, every VC or every investor or every angel investor will look into these 2 quadrants. The talent which you have, passion is different because everybody can be passionate at first. So passion is also included, but I'm going to put talent because not everybody can become because most of the companies don't really need funding. They can do bootstrap and they can still be good entrepreneurs, still have a good name in the society, get financially free and etc. So fundraising is a talent game. When you need to show metrics, you need to show proof, you need to showcase the innovation. And next is maturity, where you carry the way you carry yourself, the way you carry the company, the way you carry the team. all those things help. So I think that is the major things which VC and investor can look for.
Okay, that's great. So, when you are just looking onto VCs, positioning your startup, I'm not just
Yes.
restricting to fellow founder. Generally, when a founder is going for a pitch deck or pitching of their startup in 30 seconds or something, so how will they prep for it? I'm just making it easier for my audience.
Yes. I also try to keep it simple. Every business has competition. So before you step into the business, this is where positioning comes in. Positioning means what makes you different. There will be quadrants that you can align to your startup. We'll take fellow founder, for example. We have few competitors. So if you go to Play Store and if you can search digital business card, you will end up like a lot of 2-3 tools where you can take photos, you can save contacts, but no follow-ups, no nothing. But there are competitors. So there's one way which I can position myself. I mean the competitor I can compare with, or I can compare myself with the LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is like a networking platform where founders, VCs talk to each other. I can associate myself there. Now which one I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, it's up to me. So brand positioning means associating yourself to a relevant industry, and you are having your own set of advantages as well. So right now with fellow founder, we're planning to associate more towards LinkedIn, where we can showcase ourselves as a platform for founders to build their identity, to have their privacy, and to share it with others. So that's the entire concept of it. I can brand it myself to other competitors as well. We have an international competitor called Popel,
Okay.
who's into digital business card space. So like 3-4 competitors, 3-4 market segments. But I'm willing to choose my association of competitors. That's how my brand is positioned. That's how my valuation is determined, and that's how investor can understand my business model better. That's what I feel.
That's pretty much the way to positioning and
That's
branding.
simple. This is simple.
Yes, I think it went 3-4 pivoting before this.
Yes, we went through a lot of pivots before associating ourselves with a business model.
Okay.
Because we wanted to crack the business model that can bring us good revenue, because none of our competitors are making decent revenue.
Okay.
So I think right now we're associating with LinkedIn, but if you looked at LinkedIn revenue metrics, it's different.
Yeah.
We all use LinkedIn, but very few of us pay. I mean, you pay, I pay, but very few pay for premium accounts. So how do LinkedIn monetize?
I think their ads, LinkedIn
Yeah,
ads.
it's a different game, but we are not doing ads in fellow founder. So again, the business model is little secret. It's like we have pioneered it for like 5 years at least, I can say. We're still pioneering it. So we're associating towards like a platform where people can create identity and share with other people.
I think once you make your funding done, we'll have
It can be officially disclosed, yeah. Yes, then we'll have a lot of competitors talking about us and things like
Then
that.
it's like, I just want to know about like scaling of a startup. So whenever somebody starting a startup or doing activities towards it, nobody thinks about the scaling part.
Yes.
So everybody are thinking about the expansion, not the
Scaling
part.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to scale. Either, like you said, you can scale horizontally, where you can open branches, you can do what you do bigger, better. That's very much for a service-based company, right? In terms of a SaaS or a product-based company, scale is exponential, where we focus on more pain points, solving more pain points, optimizing it, making it more user-friendly, making it more efficient. So that is scalability. And there's something called innovation. So I think innovation is, every problem solving is an innovation. So let's say, for example, I was catering to the follow-ups of founders. Then came a problem of scheduling appointments. Now we innovated to features, ideas of scheduling appointments. So it starts with an idea, you bring it into life with the feature, and that's how you scale. So every scaling is backed up by an innovation. Scaling cannot happen without innovation. So once you have innovation in place, once you have a product map, the mind map is ready, the road map is ready for the business, the innovation comes in, and I think scaling is done eventually.
I could associate this with this book called 0 to 1.
Exactly, the linear scaling method.
Yes.
Right?
So, like, what is your perspective like? We all easily can expand, like
Yes.
horizontally, not the vertical thing, 0 to 1. So, how do you think about it? Like, what's your perspective?
I think scaling has to do a lot with resources. It's a game of resource. If you have more resource, you can scale faster, you can scale bigger. Innovation is just a proof telling people, hey, I need resources.
Okay.
That's it. Because that's how you scale also. So innovation is an idea again. If people like it, if people want to associate themselves more with the company or the business or etc., then resource automatically comes in. So scaling is a resource problem. So innovation is a proof, traction is a proof, things that work. So you show that to attract resources so that you can scale. That's as simple as that. So if you go vertically, again, innovation can be a challenge because there will be 100 other people doing the same thing what you're doing.
Exactly. They just copy you. Once you go live, they just copy in a minute.
That's why vision is more important. Vision is a long game. Okay, what do you want to do at the end of the day? In Fellow Founder, we have the vision is the detailed vision is that we want to build a platform so founders can reach the right people at the right time. That's the vision we are trying to solve. So if I need a co-founder today, I should be able to find a co-founder via a networking event or an online event and etc. So what does the app do to do it? What we do in order to prove it. So that is something that's a key vision. And we also focus on privacy because today people are getting a lot of information via LinkedIn and etc. So and you can't share. If I want to get your QR, I can get your LinkedIn QR. Once I go into LinkedIn QR, I can see where you did your education and all the other things.
Exactly.
So it's more open, right? And in terms of WhatsApp QRs, I can just DM your WhatsApp.
LinkedIn nowadays it's become more like an Instagram. So
exactly, and especially in terms of VCs or investors or scaling stage founders, we need a lot of priority in place. Like in terms of a VC, he gets a lot of pitch decks every single day.
Okay.
So we need to curate this. So we have this one QR which showcases the limited information which you want to show, where people who want to connect with you, they go through this, they send you a message along with the pitch deck if they want to. So it's easy for investor to shortlist. Rather than getting like 100 other emails from different platforms, they can have this one platform where everything is curated. So the privacy is saved. I think that is our vision in Fellow Founder. It's to establish the network more private, more popular also at the same time. So that is the vision.
That's great. Recently, we met a investor in Pondicherry.
Yes.
He just mentioned I get a lot of tons of queries that are, hi, I'm this, I'm doing this.
Yes.
He's confused what is he, why he is messaging me, something like that. So you told you have a
better solution, right? So you see, that's what, existing investors use Linktree to get all their information in place. Again, Linktree is not coping up to that. So that's where
it went off once we are out of the thing.
Yeah. So, like he said, he gets lots of queries, but he don't really know who is who. So this is a problem, again, which we are solving very effectively. In Fellow Founder, the one QR in place where you need things to get sorted. So, I think this QR helps you to curate, keeps your life private, showcases better. So I think that's it. That's what Fellow Founder does in bigger terms to reach the vision.
That's pretty much. And one thing is what do you think about self-made entrepreneur and mentor-made entrepreneur?
Nice question. Self-made entrepreneur and mentor-made entrepreneur.
So the follow-up is going to be, I'll just reveal it now itself. Are you a self-made person or?
I'm okay. I'll tell you this. If you talk about business, self-made is just a fancy word. Nobody can't actually become self-made. There are very few self-made people as well, but I'll tell you how this actually works. Let's say, for example, we're going to play cricket. You can't play cricket without a bat and a ball. So there are 10 friends coming together. At least one of the friends should have a cricket bat, which is definitely sponsored by somebody, either parent or his savings or etc. Meaning he has better lifestyle to buy a bat. That's how you play. Similarly, in terms of startup, somebody has to have capital. Without money, you can't start up. That's for sure. Even if you have an Instagram page, if you grow followers, someday you have to monetize it. So if you're able to do it on your own, that is called self-made. But it's very hard because it's a long game. That's why I'm calling it very hard. You need a lot of persistence to do it. And there's also other way of do business. You can borrow money. So in business, we call it friends and family round. You go to your friends. Yes. You go to friends. You go to families. You get the money because borrowing is allowed in business. So just because I borrow money, I build something, and people say, okay, this is not self-made thing. So, but borrowing is allowed. You borrow money, you pay back, you do things right, similar to a bank. So yeah, so if you ask officially, the person who puts his own grind, gets the money, starts a business, that is what actual self-made is. I mean, that's how the world sees it. If you borrow money, people don't call you self-made. So and people come, and in terms of mentor-made, I think I don't really can see many mentor mates in the industry, being in the industry. So I think mentor, you can get advices, a lot of people, but there's no such people called mentor. Everybody is their own mentor at the end of the day. They should take decisions. So I think let's skip mentor made because there's no results in mentor made. So what I see in terms of realitily speaking, they get advices, they get things, but at the end of the day, they are the ones who do it, not the mentors. So again, you can give credits to your mentor, but you did 90% of the work. So there's no mentor made. In terms of self-made, this is how world see it. But I would suggest don't stick to this fancy tagline. If you can borrow money, if you are lucky or privileged enough to borrow money, if you are lucky or privileged enough to get influence connections, do it. Because or if you cannot do it, at least associate yourself with some co-founder who are able to do it. That's so there are a lot of good founders. I don't want to name people. They associated their ideologies, their characteristics with the person who can do this. That's how it grow. Even Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg was starting. He has a very good CFO who gave him like $10,000 during in that time. I think in early 2000s, if I'm not wrong. That's a little bit huge amount in that time, and it's still a big money in India, $10,000. So you need to associate yourself, and that's how you become self-made. Also, I think one definition which I'm going to stick up to is that if you are not stealing ideas, that is self-made. Don't steal ideas from people. You can get inspired by people. You can have very good innovations in hand. If you have this and other things are falling in place, you're lucky. Do it. You can call yourself self-made because nobody helped you with innovation. Nobody helped you with all those things and etc. And right people associated with you to do it. So that is a way of looking at it, self-made, because that's how even 20-year-olds today are getting self-made, because they have influence, they have resources, but they lacked idea. They worked on the idea, which become a brand, and I think they are becoming self-made. So we can choose ourselves to call self-made. If you ask me personally, I'll say no because I borrowed money. So if I say self-made to people around me, people are like, okay, where did you get the initial investment from? I can say friends and family around, but again, I don't want to associate myself. I'm okay being not a self-made also. Though I went 90% of the struggles alone, I'm not going to call myself self-made. Yeah, that's my take on
Okay,
self-made.
so getting advices from mentors. So how do you handle it? Do you get it frequently?
I think I'm in a position where I don't have much mentors. I just have friends who can mentor other people. So I get consulting advices with them. But when you're starting up, we have this culture of mentorship where we look up to a mentor, we just do whatever they say. No, because business doesn't have a blueprint. We have guidance, we have syllabus, but there's no proper blueprint to get past. Everybody has to figure out their own way. Get advices from mentors because it's very valuable, because they have their own experience and knowledge to share. But decision is yours. A mentor can come and say you need to meet 100 people in the next 10 days and he'll leave. He doesn't really know about your part-time job. He doesn't know about your responsibilities with family. He doesn't really know about your innovation, your dreams and thought process. If somebody is willing to spend that much time, that's good. But again, you should take the decisions. Mentor's word is not the final. Okay, so if you ask me personally, I never really looked up to people as mentor. But again, I have a lot of good people around me, can give a lot of very quality, reality, hard-hitting advices, what's going right and what's going wrong, who I can call mentors. But practical mentor definition, startup, nobody can actually be that. Yeah, learn from everybody. That's what I would say.
Yeah, we are nearing our end towards the podcast. So the one last question is like, how your network is going to be your net worth?
Yeah, so I came up with this phrase, your network is your net worth.
Yes.
That's the tagline for fellow founder.
So I'm just making it to you personalize. So how yours going to work?
Okay, I have a network of very good founders and friends. Let's say, for example, I go bankrupt tomorrow and I don't have money to survive. I can call 2-3 people. I can arrange 50,000 to 1 lakh. At least 5 contacts, yeah. That is how my network is a net worth. So I don't have money, but I have very good people around me who can reach out to them. I can borrow money from them. Again, they do it out of trust. They know, okay, this guy can return at this time and I'm able to do it, I can give it back. So that is why, and everybody we do this in daily basis. Sometimes our friend asks us 2,000 bucks, we lend him, he never gives back. Sometimes, So that's how your network is a net worth. As you grow in life, you need to make sure you have a very good network so that you can help them in terms of value or something, or they can help you. Let's say, for example, I have very good friends around, I have friends in Pondicherry, Coimbatore, I have friends in Madurai, Tirunelveli. So if I go them, rather than spending nights in an expensive hotel, I can spend it at their homes. And I have a lot of fun. Even if I go homeless tomorrow, I can stay in their home for like 10 days each. More than that, I'm just being humble, So that's how your network becomes your net worth. The level of trust you build, the level of confidence you show, the level of value you can provide. So that is how I thought, and I think Fellow Founder will be the great place for every founder to meet another founder who can share value, not just financially, in terms of life advices and other things. Because being a founder is a lonely journey. Not many people understand your struggles. So you build your network, which eventually becomes your net worth. So I think that's the phrase, and that's the thing which has to do with Fellow Founder as well.
So pretty much of it, you answered it all at once. So I just want to tell you, when it comes to networking game, or I just want to position it globally.
Okay. In terms of a global start.
Yep.
You want to position Fellow Founder for a global view.
Yeah, your network itself as a global one.
Yes.
And this is one way in. The next way is Fellow Founder globally.
Fellow Founder. So myself as in global network. It'll be very nice if I can call Warren Buffett. Yeah, but it's a very long way. I'm not even sure how. But we might get there someday. That's the confidence which I have within myself. Definitely, a lot of high network individuals in terms of money. We have a very good high network individual in terms of VC today, who's running one of the biggest IT sectors throughout Asia and India. I'm not going to name him also. Obviously,
I get it.
Yeah. So growing your contacts is necessary internationally and locally. So I would like to have Nikhil Kamath also in my network. Pretty soon we are planning to do that in terms of bringing him into network. So if you ask me personally, globally I have many good names which we can talk for a day. So let's stop with this too. And in terms of Fellow Founders global network expansion, I want to see Fellow Founder being a part of Y Combinator. That is, it's in US, the biggest accelerator group in the entire world, Y Combinator. So let's accept it, guys. Traditional business card won't work much longer.
Okay, the pitch starts.
Exactly. The pitch starts. Traditional business card is dead today. We are just burying it every single day. Money is going to waste, spending $2,000 or $4,000. Things are going digital. Things are going like digital business profile. Everybody's starting to build their own profile. With Fellow Founder, you have added perks to it. And I think that's pretty much it. And I want to make sure everybody who's in the founder ecosystem has built their own business identity with Fellow Founder, so that their connections and their neighborhood is built with the top quality to cater them. I think that's the vision globally.
Yes, we are towards the proper end.
Okay.
So how do you like this podcast? Was it boring, sleepy?
No, of course not. Because it was so much of very good questions packed together, a lot of heated questions, and a lot of questions that has to be discussed. Like we said, there are a lot of things we can talk behind the camera, but it takes a lot of courage. So great way in terms of preparing the questions as well. So valuable questions, and I think a very good thought process went inside, and very valuable. So great job, Sowmiya, on that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's very transparent. It's very nice. I think we should do this often, so that a lot of insights can be shared to the world, so that it can help them in a way to take their founder journey to the next level. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Any suggestions or tips to our audience? One final go.
Yes, so one final go towards audience is that if you are a founder, commit to yourself. Commitment is necessary. You can't keep giving excuses, or else there's no pressure. Okay, so you can drop it and you can still make it big time. So if you are a founder, there are going to be a lot dark roads, lot lonely roads. Just have a high level of acceptance, have low ego, learn from people around, learn a lot of things. Don't be afraid to take risks. I think that's one quality which I learned. I don't even, I always dare to take risks.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to take risks. I'm not afraid of failure. So these qualities as a founder you need to have. Read a lot of books, meet a lot of people, and yeah, also try fellow founder and share your feedbacks as well.
Okay, again the pitch goes.
Yes, yeah.
So yes, thank you so much for joining me. So it was a long time planning.
Yes.
Finally, we made
The podcast.
Yeah, we made it today. Let's have it as an episode. Let's hopefully
Yes, we'll get the comments and we'll see how the people
reactions are. We are making it everything transparent. Yes.
Yeah, of course, transparent as much as possible for you guys to get your knowledge.
Thank you guys. Signing off. This is Sowmiya.
Thank you.